Welcome. Today, we're going to unpack how emotional manipulation works. Have you ever left a conversation feeling like you betrayed yourself, but couldn't quite explain why? Like your thoughts were hijacked, your emotions twisted, your sense of truth quietly eroded? That's not overthinking. That's manipulation. And it doesn't need shouting or violence to work. Just silence, doubt, and a few misplaced hopes. This isn't just about spotting toxic people. It's about understanding the mechanism. How emotional manipulation slides beneath your skin, hijacks your instincts, and convinces you to rewrite your reality. And it's about how to stop it. By learning to see what's happening inside you, not just around you. There's one thing manipulators never want you to realize. They don't overpower you. They get you to surrender willingly, by making you question your judgment, your boundaries, even your memory. But the twist is, they don't implant confusion. They awaken the confusion already inside you. Think back to a recent interaction where you felt manipulated. When you replay that moment in your mind, you don't recall a foreign voice twisting your thoughts. You recognize your own confusion. You just don't remember why you agreed to what happened. Why did you stay longer than you wanted to? Why did you accept a promise without questioning it? Why did you dismiss your intuition? The manipulator didn't force these questions. They nudged you towards them. They made you question your desires, not implant new ones. Let's explore further. Who are these manipulators? Why do they use this approach? And what does it mean for you? Well, manipulators are often masters of disguise. They can be charming, charismatic, even endearing. And this makes it easy to overlook their subtle tactics. They leverage your empathy, your desire for harmony, even your love for them. Consider the friend who always seems to have a good excuse for their behavior. Someone who consistently lets you down, but convinces you to overlook it because, well, everyone deserves a second chance, right? Or perhaps the family member who uses guilt as a weapon. They make you feel responsible for their happiness, for bridging the gaps in their life that they refuse to fill themselves. These are everyday manipulators. They prey on your empathy, your fear of conflict, and your hope for peace. They mirror concern, offer logic, use guilt like a scalpel, gaslight you with normalcy, all to keep you entangled in a web of obligation and false reassurance. You start apologizing just to keep the peace. You replay conversations in your head, trying to decode where you went wrong. You might even change your plans to accommodate theirs because you don't want to disappoint them. But the error wasn't yours. It was totally engineered. And the most dangerous part is that you stop trusting your own voice. That's not a weakness. It's design. Epictetus once said, "If someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation." Now, how does this affect you? Manipulation leaves you perpetually off balance. It chips away your confidence, making you second-guess yourself. You yearn for connection, yet find yourself in relationships that leave you more isolated than ever. Your intuition screams, but you mistake it for anxiety. You long for stability, but your environment remains in a constant state of flux. You feel like a tightrope walker without a safety net. Manipulation thrives in secrecy, distorting your perception and leaving you doubting your own senses. But here's the turning point. Awareness is the antidote to manipulation. Once you recognize the pattern, you regain the power. This isn't about placing blame, it's about taking agency. You can't control others, but you can reclaim your awareness. Every time you pause and observe instead of reacting, you reclaim a piece of your reality. So how do you do that? Where is the secret? Deploy that insight by asking, whose voice is this? Is it truly mine or the one I've been conditioned to fear? This simple act of introspection can be a life-changing realization. It helps you step back from the emotional turmoil and reconnect with your authentic self. By recognizing manipulation, you begin to untangle the web of confusion. You start to see through the manipulations, to hear your own voice more clearly. You become less reactive, more proactive in shaping your reality. Remember, it's a journey, not a destination. Each time you spot a manipulation attempt, you gain clarity. Each instance becomes a stepping stone towards a more authentic existence. But there's another crucial aspect to consider. While it's essential to be aware of manipulation tactics, it's equally important to practice self-compassion. You can't control others' behavior, but you can control how you respond. Be patient with yourself. Don't blame yourself for falling prey to manipulation. Instead, acknowledge it, learn from it, and move forward with a renewed sense of awareness. Here's a little exercise. Think of a situation where you felt manipulated. Replay that moment in your mind. Ask yourself, what signs of manipulation did I miss? What emotions was I experiencing? How did my body react? What could I do differently next time? By dissecting these experiences, you become better equipped to handle future situations. Remember, being manipulated doesn't define you. Recognizing it does. You are not your past experiences. You are your response to them. Now let's dive deeper into the concept of manipulation and its impact on your mental well-being. There's one pattern they rely on every time, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Manipulators don't want to fight you. They want you to fight yourself. That's the trick. They don't need to trap you. They just need to create doubt, and you'll build the cage from the inside. Picture this. You're in a heated discussion. Your point of view is valid, well-reasoned, even passionate. Yet somehow, you find yourself agreeing to disagree. You let go of your convictions without really understanding why. In retrospect, you know you gave up something vital, some core aspect of your truth. But at the time, you couldn't articulate it. That's because the manipulator didn't take away your voice. They made you willingly relinquish it. They do this by feeding you just enough doubt to make you question yourself. They won't spell out their manipulation. They'll imply, suggest, hint, but never confirm. They'll nudge you towards questions. Are you sure about that? Have you considered this angle? Wouldn't it be easier if you just agreed? But those questions aren't about finding common ground. They're about creating a seed of uncertainty. Once planted, this seed grows into a thicket of doubts. Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe I'm not seeing the full picture. Maybe it's best to just let it go. And in this tangled web of what-ifs, you lose sight of your original stand. You don't recall what it was you were so strongly advocating for. You don't even remember why you started this discussion in the first place. This is manipulation's greatest trick, making you forget who you are. And here's the unsettling part. This isn't an isolated incident. It's a pattern. A pattern you might have witnessed countless times. Not just with strangers, but also with people close to you, possibly even within your own family. As you start recognizing these patterns, you'll realize something unsettling. You've been participating in your own subjugation. You've been constructing the walls of your own prison. The manipulator didn't force you into this. You willingly walked in. You did this to protect a relationship, to maintain harmony, or simply to avoid pain. But now you know better. You've identified the architect of your predicament. And that knowledge alone is a powerful tool. Now let's discuss the revelation that sets you free. You're not fragile. You adapted to survive something you didn't yet understand. But now you do. Manipulation thrives in the dark, and you've just switched on the light. That's right. By understanding how manipulation works, you've taken away its greatest advantage, your ignorance. You no longer have to live in fear of the unknown. You can now see the manipulative tactics for what they are. Tools of deception used by those who lack the courage to engage in genuine, open discussions. And here's the beautiful thing. Once you realize this, they lose all power over you. Why? Because your reaction is no longer involuntary. You are not a puppet swinging to their whims. You are now in control. No longer will you tolerate empty apologies or vague promises. No longer will you confuse kindness with weakness. You've recognized the predators, and your instincts are sharpening. It's time to reclaim your voice, your truth, your very identity. You are not defined by their actions or their words. You are defined by your response to them. Will you shrink in fear or rise in awareness? The choice is yours. And remember, you don't need permission to return to yourself. You don't need to fix them. You just need to remember who you were before their voice became louder than your own. And once you remember that, they can't touch you. So go forth, dear friends, and reclaim your narrative. Be the author of your own story, not a character in someone else's script. If you found this video insightful, please hit the like button. Your support means everything to us. Share this video with someone who might benefit from it. Your act of kindness could change a life. Until next time, thanks for watching.